Hello everyone and welcome to Factorio. I'm Par and today I'll continue playing my Seablock series that I'm uploading on YouTube. So last time we managed to get the research done. We researched sniper turrets and we even were able to test how well they work on this nest of worms. So this episode I'd like to focus on cleaning the area around the base, and I haven't quite decided from which side I'd like on which side I'd like to focus this effort. But let's say okay, one thing that, and I'm coughing a little bit, I will try to mute all the coughs. I started coughing a couple of episodes ago. No idea why. So I think it might be possible to... I think I saw a setting or something that says about showing ghosts through radius when blueprinting. Is this gonna help me? No, it's not helping me. Oh no, it does. I see the radius. Awesome. I like this setting. So let's place a roboport here. Have a roboport. And we should probably connect it with power poles. Nice. So now we cannot really attack this nest, right? We need somewhere here. I said here, right? I think it was there, yeah. Let's say we want this blueprint. Save tab. Nice. So the robots are working, they're doing the thing. I might actually speed up the game a little bit, let's say to 8 times. So the question is, while I'm cleaning out the nests, what should we do during that time? Because there got to be something useful that we could do, right? I guess we could try and figure out how to produce lots of stone bricks, but I'm not convinced, to be honest. Is it going to work? Okay, let's try. No, I'm gonna try. I am gonna try. First of all, we want to upgrade this ones to have a little bit more stack, and we will be placing stuff in the buffer chest, and here we'll have a requester chest. So I guess I can limit buffer chest a bit, and this requester chest will be asking, you know, just a little bit of stone, just a tiny bit, and it will actually go from this one, from the buffer chest, I believe, right? Passive provider chests will be used afterwards. Okay, at the very least it should somewhat solve, like, you know, to some extent solve the shortage of the stone brick. Right. So we are missing 600 stone bricks. Let's see. I actually would like to build a buffer chest here. Oh, I don't like the sound. Let's go away a little bit. I'd like to build it here with maybe let's say with actually, do I want a buffer chest? I don't want buffer chest. I just want somewhere to be a storage chest. No, and I want buffer. I want a little bit of landfill here. What is our landfill? Oh, I cannot find landfill. It's like called sand, right? What is sand? No? Ah. Where is landfill? Here it is. Landfill, let's say just a little bit. Say 100. And I just want a little bit of purples. Let's say 10 should be enough. I want sniper turret. 5 sounds good. And I want an inserter. 5 inserters. Okay. This is pretty good. And that should be it. I think so. Is it working? Yeah. Okay. We cleared the area of the worms here. And I feel like we can proceed further. Right? Because... oh, wait. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It was a mistake. Because I don't quite have this research, blasting charges researched. So it's a bit trickier to do anything there. Alright, let's say I want to build a bit. I want to expand the land kind of here so that I can draw the lines. Like nice, beautiful lines here. Okay. This way should look okay. Ish. Right, what's next? We need the same thing right here. And we probably need a little bit of landfill for that. Yeah. The robots are busier. Actually, not quite. We still have lots of space for construction. Well, not lots of space, but we have... We had like 100 of unused construction robots, and I wonder why. Don't we have enough landfill? Yeah, we don't have enough landfill. That explains it. We also, for some reason, cannot make use of all of this slag. But okay, this part is actually simple. This will be solved very easily. We just need to place like a couple of inserters here. And this should be enough. It will have a crusher. It will take forever for it to be placed, and then it will be crushing the ore. Okay, nice. And these builds don't produce any slag, so the only thing that is available here is crushed stone, and it goes directly into landfill. And in the future it will go like here, into more mineral sludge. So what should I do now? We're having troubles with iron. And actually the issues with iron, I feel like it's because of the lack of charcoal. No, it's actually because of the lack of iron ore. It's surprising. I honestly didn't expect it to be the case here, but I mean, it is what it is, you can see it. Right, let's figure out how I could build things. So I could have... I have this kind of city blocks, right? 3 by 3. Actually, here it's 3 by 6 chunks. I can have each of them dedicated to one ore. So I could have one here, 2, then space for rails, 3, 4, space 5, 6. That's a lot of area. That is a lot of area that I need when filling. I'm not sure what to think about it, to be honest. Kinda feels like a lot. What am I kidding? Okay, can we do that? Can we do that? This part, so we copy it and we give it to the RoboPort. And this part doesn't seem like it's actually needed for anything. Okay, let's see. Have this line. Have 1, 2, 3. So what we... Line 1, 2, 3. Right. So this is how I want this part to look like. Now the only question is whether we can... Like, how do we get more... Oh, we don't have charcoal. How do we get more stone bricks? We need fuel. And it doesn't seem like we have a lot of fuel. I don't understand why that is the case, by the way. I just don't get it. It's supposed to be working, but we are not producing enough charcoal. Very strange. So here speed is 0.75. I could try and increase the speed of this algae farms, right? Because it increases it to 1 from 0.75 to 1. This should be good, right? This should help. I would expect it to help, to be honest. I mean, it's not like this part is running non-stop, or this one. It's not actually running non-stop. So it should result in more... No, maybe I should send it to the right. Because this furnace is not supposed to use that much fuel, to be honest. Right, and the problem seems to be that all of this is going converted into carbon. Interesting. Okay, but at least we fixed the spot. Well, fixed this in fixed quote unquote. It's not really fixed, it just it's going to operate in some fashion. Okay, let's see. And we have here another block. This is another one. Okay, let's see. We have one block here, two. Couple of blocks here. I think we just need more landfill. We need way more landfill. So should I build something here? Because like it doesn't look like a bad idea to produce even more, like to basically give as much crash stone as we can to this assembler. Right, it looks like a good idea. So we have a lot of stuff infected, but it still seems to be not enough, and I'm not sure I understand why that's the case. Let's increase the speed of these assemblers. I guess it kind of makes sense. It's 1 to 2, so if we use like 2 inserters, we need to be able to like, take a lot of crush stone. Okay, that's good. I guess I cannot expect, you know, to get anything better than... Oh no, this is so annoying. The sound. Right, this part. Let's figure out what we are gonna do here. Okay, this is the place, I guess. Okay. Robots will do this part. I will infill it once they actually have landfill. Sorry about that. I coughed again, and I'll try to clean up the audio, like mute all this annoying things, not from the in-game sound. Like you'll have to deal with this annoying sound because I'm not touching game audio. But you know, I also have to deal with it, so it's yeah. I was gonna say it's fair, but maybe not quite. I don't know. I'm not touching game audio. Right, so this part also will start working. We don't have wider issue here anymore. And what else should we do? I don't like the speed with which I'm landfilling and basically progressing here. I feel like the speed is not that great. I'm not sure whether I'll need fish for anything, but let's do a little bit of fishing and collect some fish. Alright. How could I forget about that? Of course we need robots to be able to, like, you know... We need robots to deliver the bullets. And this spot... I'm not sure why this is not picked up. I guess it's okay. It is okay. So I can in theory increase the spot, like double it. But I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't do it just yet. Maybe I shouldn't. What I really want, I want to figure out where I will be producing ores and ingots. Oh. Oh no. We lost. We lost the bot. That is unfortunate. And you know, maybe we should focus on that part first, on this nest. Because it might make everything just a little bit more difficult. Where is... I was looking for power poles, right? Because I need power poles in order to have robots build the thing and for inserter to operate. Awesome. We have the thing almost ready. Oh, wow. Actually, I was thinking, shouldn't we have a better radar coverage? I want to have a better coverage by radars. So let's say have this one, we could plop it down. Place it somewhere. Let's see. Here. Kind of random space, random place, but that will do. Here. And maybe somewhere in this corner here. We want it somewhere here. Maybe even here. Let's place it here. So I just want to have a little bit better radar coverage. And how's the landfill? We have 4,300 landfill. That means that basically that means that we don't have any landfill. Because 4,000 landfill, it's nothing. It will disappear super quickly. And I feel that you can deal with the biter without actually building the spot, but we'll see. And another thing that I want to do, I want to clear the swarms. So we should be able to do that, right? Yeah, it might be a pretty long episode, to be honest, because I'm just clearing out the worms, trying to get some space to build like full city blocks with rail around them. But the thing is, I can't say that I see like huge amount of progress. Yeah. So it might take me quite a while to do anything. Yeah, maybe not anything, but to do like landfill enough areas, you know. It might take me quite a bit of time. Okay. And robots are not doing anything useful. They're just chilling. Alright, I feel like we can move this part. Maybe we should move this one forward a tiny bit. Right. So I need to move this part a little bit further. Yeah. Okay. So we don't have problem here, we don't have problem here. I need to clear up this part. So let's start to prepare for this. Maybe like this. How close should come? Say we'll start with this one. Okay. How much do we have now? 3.6. It's even less landfill. We are using too much landfill. Start clearing the space. Yes, we can. I hope so. I hope we can. Slightly. This one not quite, but it will be soon. Place. Nice! We are doing it. We are slowly taking the land. Or I guess it's better to say we are taking the sea from the biters. From the worms. I guess these are like sea worms or something. I'm not an expert on worms. Yeah, it's working. Sniper turret's awesome. And this thing will be working just fine until we reach these worms, because they have range 38. And surprise, surprise, it's gonna be a bit more difficult to deal with them. Because our current strategy will not work with those huge, dangerous worms. Right, what can we do here? We can maybe get it there. Okay. It should do it, right? Yes, that will be cleared. This one we are in the process of building, and then we'll figure something out. This one is cleared, so we can actually move the spot a little bit so it doesn't look strange. Okay. And I wanted to move this turret, and I wanted to do something about the spiders. Nice. It's working. This is working. $2,500 landfill remaining in the logistic network. That's not a lot. Okay, we actually do not have things like train stops, right? We don't have train stops. We should have train stops. We don't have signals. We are researching the signals. What else do we need for trains? Train stops are useful. Solar lamp, I have no idea what that is. All of these things look pretty useful. Yeah, I guess we'll need them. Let's figure out where I want to have them placed. I mean, that's not great what I'm doing here, but it'll probably be enough. Hope so. Don't know. Yes. Nice. And we can build something. Wait, what's going on? What happened here? Why do we have this line? I don't know what exactly happened there, but it doesn't look right. Right, let's just use this ones for these things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Say these things. Nice. And we need two more. This one and this one. I'm gonna reduce one stack of these things here. Nice. The base is working, it's doing something. What happened with our research? We don't have green science, and we don't have green science because we are lacking iron. We don't have enough iron. Yep, we don't have enough iron. And how are these warehouses? Okay, so we produced zinc, and silver. But we also wanted tin and silicon. However, tin and silicon are kind of produced here. Okay, we seem to be doing fine so far. Just need a little bit more power, and I want to expand power by just copying this part over there, to the left. So one of the issues is that I don't see landfill being produced fast enough. Yeah, that's... I kind of feel like I'm slowed down now. I feel like I should be able to do things a little bit faster, but I just don't quite understand how exactly am I supposed to do that. Like, how exactly am I supposed to increase the speed? Right? I don't know. One thing I do know is that I want to start building explosives. Oh, I need purified water for that. And cliff explosives. So, for regular explosives, I need purified water. Maybe I shouldn't think about that. Maybe I don't need that just yet. Oh, wait. What was that? Range 30. And our sniper turret? Range 30. Oh. That is problematic. Because what are we gonna do with such worms? Okay, let's try. Let's see whether we can actually do anything or not really. I mean, I'm fine with losing a couple of sniper turrets, to be honest, so... It's still not working. I don't like the sound. Can I lower the sound a little bit? Is it like game effects? Right? Looks so... Okay, this is much better. This is much better. Like, a lot better. That was game effects. Okay, good to know. I'm gonna keep it like this because I don't really want to spend... Not to spend, but like... Oh, no. And we lost the thing. That's fine. We'll do things like this. Okay, that's fine. We'll be just losing sniper turrets. Right. Okay, nice. It's working. It's barely working. Medium and one more medium. One. So how do we do this? Like this maybe. Let's wait a bit. Oh, I should have changed it. I should have said that we are fine to request from buffer chests. This would have been much faster, like significantly faster. But it's kind of late for that now. Oh, interesting. Look at this. There is a way to touch medium warps with them unable to touch us. That's pretty neat. I had no idea it's possible. Okay, let's just wait a little bit and we'll place this thing right here. Nice. Yeah, and it's working again. This is great. I don't want to build repair packs just yet, because I'm not sure whether they will work well or not. Like, I don't want to accidentally lose lots of robots because they're trying to repair something like a turret that is unable to reach the worms. So I just don't want that. Don't want to even think about those things. Why we don't have enough? Why we don't have enough bricks for land filling, for construction of the lines? Okay, I get it, because we need. So it looks like logistic robots have priority, I think. Because not a single one has been placed. We've been at 601 for a while. Unless I'm mistaken. I might be like a bit wrong in how I remember things. Right, let's landfill this part. But the problem is that we don't really have landfill, do we? Did we get more landfill or not? We are at 2000 landfill. And 2000 landfill is honestly not a lot. It's not a lot at all. It's basically barely enough to some medium worms. Can I get sniper turret too? Need cobalt for that, and we'll need blue science. So maybe I shouldn't expand this part, maybe I should just expand this one, because we will even have space for railroad, right? For rails, yes we do have space for rails. We have another block here, alright, this part. Let's expand here, I feel like this would be better. Let's go in this direction, and maybe I need to figure out how to faster go through, like, from one side of the map to another. Okay, and we need some rubber ports. This one should be fine. This one. We are like in rubber port, right? That's the main. No, we actually do have rubber port. We don't have power pole. Okay, we can fix the power. We might even be able to do something about this one. So the thing is, I was thinking about keeping this space, like leaving a little bit more space here. Kinda just in case. But I'm not sure, should I do that? Should I actually leave a space right here? I think I do. I want to try to experiment with different things, like different designs of the rails, and if I don't leave a wider space somewhere, I will not be able to have like a huge line, because I can... What I was thinking about is that I could have a huge kind of train line being like going vertically here, and then it can be like branching out to the sides, and we could be like doing some stuff with it, and then the trains come back into like this central line and go deliver their stuff to wherever they need to deliver it. So that's what I've been thinking about, at the very least. And actually, so here I wanted to have chunks. So we'll have one ore, chunk production, and etc. further down. I could start here, kind of what's the name of this? This one. Ferrous chunk and cupric chunk stuff. So I can actually research them further down here. In case I wanted to. I probably want to, but I'm not sure about cupric stuff, but ferrous one I think is needed to get some metal, like to get chrome. Yeah, that's the only way to get chrome. Because if you look, none of the other ores actually have chrome in them. Wait, is cupric the only way to get platinum? Wait, seriously? Platinum ore. How do we get it? We get it from cupric crystals? Oh, interesting. We have a pure process for platinum. And the question is... So this is pretty straightforward, but what do we actually need it for? And whether this is the final step, and we need purple science for that. And what is purple science? And purple science requires lots of things. I don't even know what exactly is needed here. I don't recognize the icons. It's that bad. It is that bad. We will figure it out later. For now, we are reaching an important milestone. We almost have signs, rail signals. We almost have them, not quite, almost. Spot. I'd like to move it a little bit. This. Okay. Now, I'd also like to push this one off so that I can... No. I was gonna say so that I can encircle them in rails, but it's a bit too early for that because I want to group like 4 city blocks 2 by 2 into groups, into like larger squares, and have rails around those. What is happening here? These are all medium ones, right? No, these are all small ones. So I can actually clear all of this out. I'm not sure about this. Okay, I actually don't care about that part as much as I care about this one. So this is a really useful area that we can use to expand our crushed ore production further. And we should definitely do that. So I'll be focusing on this part more than I'm focusing on this part. And this is a medium worm. It will be causing us issues. That means that I should do something about it. So it's like 30, right? That's the distance of the attacks. 30. 30. Okay, so I'm 2 tiles a bit too close to it. It's fine. We'll just do something like this. Because we need this area anyway. And this one should be unable to reach it. Right, this part is being landfill. Have 1.7 landfill. And these are medium worms. I don't like that. It makes it difficult to do anything. Oh, nice. We finished the research. What was the research? Is it written here? I don't think. I don't think the research is reported there. However, we should have signals, right? Well, signals. They got to be here somewhere. Okay, nice. We have one, and we have two. So we have the signals. I don't know what to build here, to be honest. Probably sniper turret Mark II, but the thing is that we don't actually have it. Not yet, anyway. Okay, that's fine. That looks pretty good. How much military science do we have? We have 1.3 military science. So after these two researches, I want to research fasting charges. I think I have to. These are kind of expensive, especially logistic train network. This is super expensive. You know what? I'll do it later. It's not like I can use LTN. Like, I cannot actually use LTN right now. I don't have space to, like, place rails. It's just too soon. It's too soon for that. So, should I try to get rid of this part? These biters? I don't know. Maybe not quite yet. Could increase the speed a bit, but I'm not sure how much it will be helping. Actually, check this out. The PS is getting lower and lower. Like, there is actually not a huge difference between me playing at 4 times the speed and 8 times the speed. I also kind of feel the game lagging a bit when I'm playing on speed, so I'm not gonna do it. And you know what? Let's actually change our mod settings and limit maximum time acceleration to 4 times. I feel like, yeah, we reached the limits of my PC. And I didn't really think about my PC as being like super weak or anything like this. It's not like super modern, but it's not really old either. Okay. Let's do this. We need more robots, by the way. And I'm surprised, like, there is so much work, but the robots are not really working. I guess maybe we don't actually have landfill. Yeah, don't really have landfill. I almost want to create like a completely separate and dedicated kind of like Slack production dedicated just to produce like a lot of landfill. But I don't know. Get this part. Do we have everything? We have a couple of reds, but they don't really have any task. Like this two and this one. You know, I can actually tweak this part a little bit. say that this could be. I don't have a filter right. It could be a liquefier, to be honest. Yeah, let's have a liquefier here. I'm not planning on using them, but if I need one, I know where to find it. In the logistical network. Logistic network. In the logistic network. That's how it's called, right? I'm always mixing them up. Yep. Okay, this part I'm not sure about. But this part I am definitely sure about what I want to do. I want to place these things, and once they're placed, I want to place a turret, and it might take a while, but the turret at some point will be able to remove the swarm from the sea. And working? I hope. I hope it is. So, I'm not even sure. Should I break this episode down into like smaller ones? Or should I continue playing it as is? Because the way I see it, I actually forgot to leave room for water. Because and here we'll need to shift it by one more space. Because like the way I see it, it's like I need to continue building the stuff, and the second episode will also be kinda, maybe I could say, a bit boring. I guess you could say that. Because I need to do exactly the same things that I haven't finished doing in this episode. Like, it's pretty much going to be the same stuff again. So, should I split it, or should I just let it run? I don't know. I honestly don't know. We have a tiny problem with water here, but it's okay, because we are super close to having blasting charges. And once we got them, we will not have any like real issues with water. Oh no. I knew that's gonna happen. I knew that it's okay, because the worm is gone. We don't have worm there anymore. Which is great. So what I was thinking actually in the beginning is that I maybe shouldn't be producing anything, like converting stuff into slag, etc. Maybe I should just... Sorry, not slag, but mineral sludge. Maybe I should just take a lot of slag and, you know, generate a ton of landfill from it. Like, right here. Right? Why don't I do this? There is no good reason to not do that. Because I don't see any. So this part is a bit tricky because how am I going to prime this thing? So from this side can be primed here. This ones can be primed here, like the middle ones. How would I prime middle ones? I want to find some space for RoboPort, but I don't see any. I mean, even here in the middle, there is not enough room. Okay, also not enough room. Okay, I'm not gonna overthink it too much. Maybe I should. I will replace this with the requested chests. So all of them will be requested chests. Even if they are outside of the range of RoboPorts. And I will replace these ones as well. So these are the ones that I like. These are the important ones. Oh wait. Do we need to connect these things or something? Is this expectation? Okay, and the next step is to actually request electrolyzer electrodes. Let's say just 10. I want just a little bit of them. This one is a question, this one is a question. I mean, this looks pretty good. So I'll just repeat the process here. And we'll repeat the process here. And of course I have to do it here as well. Nice. So now this stuff is basically working. I don't like these blinking signals. I don't really like that. But what we could do, I could place RoboPort here. So let's say I'm placing RoboPort right here. Yeah, right here. And I'll just connect the spot. Okay. Fixed. That is the fix that I'm thinking about. And I'll do the same here, I guess. Yeah, let's do the same thing here. It should still work. It should be fine. Shouldn't cause many problems. Except it will, because doing things a little bit differently here. Okay, for this. Let's move it one tab up and do the same thing. Okay, now this build is actually kinda playable. Kinda. I can copy this spot, put it here, and it should work. Except we don't actually get water, but these are minor details. You can always do something like this. So 1, 2, 3. Let's say 4. The question is, do we actually have a offshore pumps produced anywhere. And we're also missing electrolyzers and wait. And this one's in liquefiers. That's strange because we should be fine. We should have. Yeah, let's build these pipes. That was a bit surprising. So liquefiers. And another thing that's missing is this one. Here. I don't have electrolyzer, but electrolyzers should be built. Okay, let's just wait. We need more. We need more bricks. Oh, the important part. The most important part, actually, I would say, is that. Wait. Right. The most important part is that this thing seems to be working, and we can even connect it like this. Should I make it symmetrical or not? That's a good question. Do I want it to be symmetrical, or whether I care or whether I don't care? Let's make it really nice. Let's do it like this. Okay. So this thing is working. It's given us some power. Our power production jumped to 96. I'm a bit concerned about power, to be honest. Looks like it's a bit too much, especially once we have all of this properly running. It might be too much. We'll see. The important part why I did all of this is actually I did it for a simple reason. We are missing some things, and those prevent me the spot. So I'm missing a couple of power poles or whatever. I don't want to be missing power poles. So here we can copy this build, this one, and convert it, well, not convert it, but can repurpose it, produce a lot of landfill. Because we need lots of landfill, and this is the way to get the landfill. Right. We have provided chest here, here, and it is, of course, no, not this. The other one, this one. It's of course landfill. Nice. This should work. This is great. How much land? I have just 1000. I'm not even sure whether I'm measuring it correctly. Because it kind of has been going down throughout the whole episode, and I honestly expected to have a bit higher numbers. I like what I see. So, even somehow all of this are getting flat. I'm surprised. I didn't expect this build to get copied as well, to be honest. I thought it will be a bit trickier, but here we are. It's working. And on that, I would like to finish this episode. We are getting closer to blasting charges, and let's actually take a look at our science. We have 1.8 science. It might be a good idea to start researching this. What is missing here is iron. We don't have enough iron, and unfortunately right now I don't really have like a good, really good solution to the iron issue that we are having. Okay. Wait, this is not enough? How about this? Oh no. It's happening. Our power poles are blowing up. I knew it would happen at some point. Okay, that's a bit bad. We're having again problems with the power, but it's not like, you know, it's not that bad. It's mostly kind of inconvenient at this point, a little bit inconvenient. Yes. So what I was saying, I was finishing up the episode, right? So thanks everyone for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.